The deadliest weapon of the 19th century wasn't forged on a battlefield. It was built in a boardroom. In 1889, a bustling American steel town was violently wiped off the map in a matter of minutes. Not by the unpredictable wrath of nature, but by the sheer arrogance of America's wealthiest men. What you are about to witness is the deadliest corporate shortcut of the 19th century. A man-made catastrophe built entirely on luxury, convenience, and greed, unleashing 20 million tons of dark fury upon innocent people. This is the dark history of how a group of untouchable billionaires compromised a colossal dam just to pass their expensive carriages and drowned an entire city. High above the soot-covered streets of Pennsylvania, far away from the working class, a highly secretive group of tycoons, including industrial giants like Andrew Carnegie and Andrew Mellon, formed the exclusive South Fork Fishing and Hunting Club. They purchased a massive, abandoned earth dam high in the mountains, directly above the working-class steel town of Johnstown, intending to create a private luxury lake for their summer retreats. But to these executives, convenience meant more than structural integrity. To make the dam wide enough for their luxury carriages to cross side by side, they ordered the top of the colossal structure to be shaved down by several feet, dangerously lowering its capacity. Worse, they completely removed the iron discharge pipes to keep their imported game fish from escaping into the valley, and installed cheap iron screens that trapped debris. Local engineers watched in absolute horror. The dam was fundamentally compromised, stripped of its safety mechanisms, and turned into a ticking time bomb suspended over thousands of lives. But to the billionaires, safety was a secondary concern to their summer leisure. A compromised foundation can only hide a lie for so long. In late May of 1889, unprecedented heavy rains pounded the narrow valley. Without the vital discharge pipes to release the pressure, the private lake swelled rapidly. The compromised, lowered crest of the dam could no longer hold the immense weight. It didn't just leak, it catastrophically failed. The massive earthen wall burst open with a deafening roar, instantly releasing 20 million tons of water into the valley below. A terrifying 60-foot-high tsunami of dark mud roared down the narrow gorge at 40 miles per hour. It was a relentless beast of friction and destruction, ripping entire forests from their roots and sweeping up massive steel trains as if they were children's toys. When the apocalyptic wave finally struck the city of Johnstown, it brought with it a grinding, crushing mass of debris, obliterating buildings into splinters in seconds. The force was so incredibly violent that the tangled wreckage of wood and barbed wire piled up against a stone bridge and caught fire, creating a surreal, terrifying nightmare of burning wreckage riding atop a monstrous, inescapable flood. The mud eventually settled, but the blood remained on the hands of the elite. When the raging waters finally receded, the thriving industrial valley was transformed into a silent, unrecognizable wasteland of thick mud and twisted steel. Over 2,200 people were dead. The financial and human cost was staggering, with entire generations erased. But the men responsible, the untouchable tycoons of the South Fork Club, never paid the price. Protected by an army of expensive corporate lawyers, they successfully argued the disaster was simply an act of God, escaping without a single criminal conviction or financial penalty. However, the sheer injustice of this corporate cowardice triggered a massive national outrage. It paved the way for historic class action lawsuits and forced a permanent change in American liability law, establishing the concept that corporations must be held responsible for their negligence. Today, the broken ruins of the South Fork Dam still stand silently in the quiet mountains, a dark, permanent monument to the true cost of executive greed.